All right, today we are diving into the absolutely incredible story of Orlando, Florida. Now, this is a city that hasn't just reinvented itself once, but again and again throughout its really fascinating history.
You know, it's a story that involves oranges, astronauts, and of course, a world-famous mouse. So the big question is, how? How does a city completely transform itself time and time again? How do you go from a remote frontier outpost to the global entertainment capital? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack today as we journey through Orlando's completely different eras.
Okay, so let's jump right in. Our story starts way before any theme parks were even a glimmer in someone's eye. We're talking about land that was originally part of a Seminole reservation back in 1823. This was the raw, untamed frontier of Central Florida, pretty much the middle of nowhere.
So after the Second Seminole War, the U.S. government basically put up a settlers wanted sign with the Armed Occupation Act. And the first guy to show up? A fella named Jernigan, who arrived in 1843. From there, a tiny, and I mean tiny, community started to form. By 1857, the town of Orlando was officially put on the map. Literally, it was just 4 streets laid out around a courthouse square. That was it. And when I said tiny, I was not kidding. Get this. When the town of Orlando officially became a town in 1875, its entire population was just 85 people. 85. That is just an impossibly small number, right? Especially when you think about the sprawling metropolis it is today. It's just wild. But that tiny little town was about to stumble into its first major identity. For the next 20 years or so, Orlando would become known for one thing and one thing only: oranges. Yep, this was its golden era.
It turns out the climate and the soil were absolutely perfect for it. The city just blossomed. It became the vibrant, beating heart of Florida's citrus boom. We're talking incredible growth, real prosperity, money and people were just pouring into the area, and it was all because of that one little fruit.
But, and there's always a but, isn't there? Just as quickly as it all began, it came to a sudden, devastating end.
So, during the winter of 1894 to 95, disaster struck. A catastrophic cold snap, which went down in history as the Great Freeze, just completely wiped out the citrus groves. It was nothing short of an economic apocalypse. Small growers, ruined. People started leaving the city in droves. And just like that, Orlando's identity as the citrus capital was, well, frozen solid. The city was left scrambling. It needed a new reason to exist. Well, that new purpose, that new identity, would arrive with the drums of war. Starting in the 1940s and rolling right through the Cold War, Orlando began its second great transformation. This time, it was becoming a vital military and aerospace hub. So, during World War II, 2 major air bases popped up. Then, after the war, the defense industry saw an opportunity and moved in. A huge one was Martin Marietta, which opened a massive plant in 1956. The bases themselves kept evolving. McCoy Air Force Base became a key strategic home for Cold War bombers, and then a major naval training center opened its doors in '68. The military wasn't just part of the city anymore, it was totally reshaping its economy and its landscape.
And here's where things get really interesting. This is a direct link between Orlando's past and its present that you might not even realize. Have you ever flown into Orlando International Airport? You know the airport code, MCO? Well, that MCO comes directly from McCoy Air Force Base. How cool is that? The very same runways that once launched B-52 bombers during the Cold War are the exact same runways that now welcome millions of tourists every single year.
And those tourist-filled runways lead us directly to the single biggest game changer in the city's entire history. The one event that would define Orlando forever. We are, of course, talking about the arrival of Walt Disney. So get this picture. It's 1965. For months, someone had been secretly buying up tens of thousands of acres of swampland. Then, Walt Disney holds a press conference and announces his mysterious Florida project. Honestly, Central Florida had absolutely no idea what was about to hit. So you might be asking, why Orlando? Why not Miami or Tampa? Well, Disney had looked at those coastal cities, but he was really worried about one thing: hurricanes. So he chose Orlando's inland location for one very specific, very strategic reason. It offered way better protection from major storms. And that single decision would forever, and I mean forever, alter the fate of the entire region. And the impact? Whoa, just look at these numbers. After Walt Disney World opened its gates in 1971, the city's growth just went into hyperdrive. The population didn't just grow, it absolutely exploded. And you have to remember, the numbers you're seeing here are just for the city itself. They don't even begin to show the massive boom that happened in all the surrounding areas.
So this was it. This was Orlando's third great transformation. The citrus industry, ancient history. The military's huge role, that was shrinking fast. Now, tourism was the undisputed king, and pretty much everything in the region started to revolve around that one single industry.
So, all of that explosive growth, how did it shape the complex city we know today? Well, let's take a look at the modern metropolis, a city that's dealing with a whole new set of opportunities and challenges.
You know, modern Orlando is really a city of contrasts. You've got this glittering, modern downtown skyline that's shot up, but right next door, you can still find these beautiful historic neighborhoods with brick streets and those huge century-old oak trees. It's a major league sports city now, home to the Orlando Magic, and its crown as the tourism king was totally cemented when rivals like SeaWorld and Universal Orlando showed up, making it, without a doubt, the theme park capital of the entire world.
But the 21st century, of course, has also brought profound challenges. On June 12, 2016, the city was absolutely rocked by the tragedy at the Pulse nightclub. It was a moment of just immense pain and loss, one that truly tested the soul of the entire community.
And that's really the crucial point here. Today's Orlando isn't just one thing. It's a city with so many layers. It's this global hub for fun and entertainment, sure, but it's all built on a foundation of military history, which was built on a foundation of citrus groves. And in the face of that awful tragedy, the city showed this incredible resilience and unity, which added yet another deep, complex layer to what Orlando is today.
So when you step back and look at it, from a tiny frontier fort with just 85 people to a global entertainment empire, Orlando's story is just one of constant radical reinvention. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Having already lived so many different lives, what on earth will Orlando's next great transformation be?
Hey, if you thought this journey through Orlando's history was interesting, you should definitely check out our whole Florida City Histories playlist. We've got more just like it. And for other deep dives, make sure you subscribe to Notebook Summary so you don't miss out. Thanks for joining us for this one.